All right, stop zoning out on the fire. Okay, I gotta quit staring at the fire. All right, so this fire is entirely made with bark. So bark is something a lot of people are just throwing out. We would throw it out too, but I figured out once it's dry, it's one of the best woods you can use. So we're gonna use bark to stoke our fire. And get a nice coal bed going. Gotta layer it a little bit so there's some air pockets in between it. Okay, so why are we using a fire pit instead of your average propane to get our heat up? It just works better. Man, we've already heated up quite a few pots of water for the major portion of our sterilization. So we're using wood chips, but we're using naturally acquired wood chips, so it's going to be mostly oak and some alder. And this is what it looks like. So your oak and your alder, you can see bits of green, sticks from the maple. Excuse me, maple and alder, my bad. Okay, so we've got, yeah, come check it out. How you doing, dude? All right, so right here, this is our wood chips, and we're gonna use a barrel with a sealing top that had food inside of it, apple cider on these ones. And this one's already got some stuff in it, so we're gonna unlock it and check it out. No, nothing in that one. That one's empty. You wanna help me with this lid? And you can see we've got the wood chips in there. It's hot, you're right. And they're steaming away. And the reason why you want to take a lot of care to make sure you pasteurize this type of wood chips is your mushrooms aren't going to inoculate if they have too much competition. And there is a lot of competition in there. It's just crazy. So we were heating up our water with one of these double boilers. This one working fine, but it took over an hour and a half to fully heat this up. And it's a pretty big bucket. But on the open flames, we were able to heat up 3 of these in like 10 minutes. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, be careful. It was on the fire just a little bit ago. We're gonna fill them back up with water. You wanna get the hose and help me? Yeah? Okay, grab the hose. You got it?
Yeah.
This is Everett, he's 3. He's helping out a ton. Big helper. Yep, there you go. Good job. We're gonna fill it up to this line right here because when we're carrying it back and forth, if it's really hot, we don't want it to splash out and burn us, okay? Man, this thing is cooking. So I'm only getting them up to 200 degrees where we filled these 2 barrels with wood chips. And like I said before, I messed up at first, but this is maple and alder mixed together. It's not a consistent mix, just came through a chipper. Then we've got our buckets. So these are food grade 5-gallon buckets. These had organic grape filling in them. I like it when they had organic stuff in them, it makes it feel a lot better. But we've taken these, we've drilled some 1/4-inch holes about every 3 or 4 inches. We've drilled some 1/4-inch holes about every 3 to 4 inches, and on the bottom we've got some 1/8-inch holes just to make sure we have enough drainage, about 5 of them. And then we've done that on all these. The lids aren't going to have any holes in them, but we have 8 buckets ready to go. We just rinsed them out real thoroughly, and we've been letting them sit in the sunshine. The ultraviolet light will kill a lot of the bacteria that we're worried about, as long as they're nice and clean. Oh, good job. Great job. Man, it's nice to have a little helper. I really appreciate your hard work. You want to put some in this one too? That one, fill that one up just a little bit more. You filled it to the line, which is great, but that one go a little bit higher because that's a different line. Go a little bit more in that one. Turn it on. There you go. I'll tell you when. Good job. All right, so what we're gonna do is take our mushroom spawn I've got all different kinds here. We've got lion's head. We've got 3 different kinds of oyster mushrooms. We've got just all sorts of stuff. And it will go to waste. So if the way these guys are producing mushrooms in the bags, they're gonna fruit it maybe once and almost never twice. But what they're gonna do is just toss them out. So we're collecting them and we're gonna reuse them. We have a never-ending supply of wood chips because I'm an arborist, and this is just one of the fun projects we like to do at our little farm. Our little, what is this? Less than a quarter acre, but it's working. All right, dude, filling up the water. Ev, good job. A little bit more on that one too, up to that line. So when the water gets to this line, then it's full. Okay, I'll help turn on. Whoa, did you already drink your juice? Yeah? No. Oh, you still got some left? Yeah. Oh, that'll be a nice treat when you get done. All right, so we're gonna take these 3 more containers and put them back on the fire, and we'll see how long it takes them to heat up. So we got our pots are almost up to temperature. That only took about 30 minutes, so about half the time of the other technique we were using, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna get over here and get our barrel ready for more water. So we're just gonna keep filling this barrel up. We've got a lock top on it, and we're just gonna keep filling it up. Should still be plenty hot. Yep, that's a lot. Still a lot of steam in there. It's probably good, actually. We put 4 of these tanks in here at 200, and it's probably enough. But we're gonna do some more just to make sure. I want it to thoroughly steep in water, because once we put it to the buckets, we don't want to have to keep adding water. We want it to do all of its work without any more additional water. So I'll get over there and be packing those back and forth and dumping them in here, and I'll give you guys an update. It's an update on our mushrooms. They're coming out great. God has provided. What do you think, Everett? All right, check out these mushrooms. Man, are they awesome. So just super thankful everything worked out great. We've got some big beautiful babes right here ready to eat, and we've already had a few.
The only thing that I didn't get a chance to talk about is how we had to stuff first wood chips, a nice little layer, nice and tight. Then we crumpled up all of the mycelium from the other bags with gloved hands, of course, and then each time packed every bit down as tight as we could get. And this is everything we needed to do to get the results you see here.
Hey, so this is just a follow-up. So after you saw the last video, all we've done is we cut the mushrooms off of the buckets and slice them into smaller strips, maybe quarter to half-inch wide, and then we dried them. These 4 were dried with a Nesco food dehydrator set at about 95 degrees, and they're nice and crispy. It took a little over 24 hours, and what we really like is they maintain a lot of their color. Now these are the same mushrooms here, but these ones were dried in an oven at around 178 degrees, and you can see a considerable difference in the color. So we're not sure too, we may have lost some of the nutritional value by cooking it to that temperature, but it did dry considerably faster. So these were able to get these finished in just a few hours, around 3 hours. So what I wanted to show you guys is this is a really good method of storage for your mushrooms, is you can keep these for years if it's done properly. All we've done is I filled the containers with the dried mushrooms, these quart-sized jars. Then we put them and the lids and everything together in the oven for about 200 degrees. And then after they'd been in there for about 20 or 30 minutes, and you could tell that the glass was considerably hot and everything was, well past 200 or at 200 degrees nearly. Then we topped them and then set them aside to cool, and the lids sink down inside there. So we're pretty we're pretty safe at that point. You may lose some from time to time, but really, if you do it right, you'll be surprised at your success rate. You're going to have, you know, some amazing mushrooms for years to come. And this is a small batch, but this just gives you an idea. That's just what you could see in the video off of 5 of the 5-gallon buckets. So the 5-gallon buckets, we were all stored outside. We used a natural wood chip, and the one problem that you might find is here later October, we had a freeze, and that started to mess with some of the mushrooms because the amount of moisture in the air declined pretty rapidly, and it made it to where the mushrooms started to shrivel just a tiny bit, and that's why we decided to harvest them. I think the harvest on 5 buckets would have been a little bit greater than this if they were allowed to get to full size. But anyway, just wanted to give you guys a quick little tip on how to store your mushrooms so you'll be able to keep them for a long period of time. And if you have any other questions, feel free to comment below. And if you get a chance, give us your subscription. We'd love to have you guys be able to see some of the new videos we're going to post. We'll be doing lots of stuff with micro farming here in the future, and keep us in mind. Thanks a lot.